What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Homie Hangout, where we help others move in excellence. And somebody was not helping Wesley Thomas Watson from moving in excellence. Um, we're gonna get into this. I know I was supposed to do a video reacting to the Pelican Bay documentary, right? If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do. It's by PBS. It's on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half, and it goes through solitary confinement in the California Department of Corrections, and then the hunger strikes that helped bring that process to an end. Uh, but I got off my live earlier. I went and got some food out of the kitchen. Then I got a phone call. I had to go pick up the grandkids. One thing led to another. It is raining out here in Reno, which somehow has flared up my chest cold, even though I'm not standing out in the rain. And I was going to take the rest of the night off. And I'm scrolling through IG and I see Wes Watson's arrested. And I was like, we'll see. I've been hearing that for like 2 weeks, right? Well, I looked it up. No, fucking, it's true. It's a Miami Dade County website, right? So yeah, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into the charges, why he might have gotten those charges, what he might expect, right? What do people with those kinds of charges get sentenced to in Florida? It's all bad. Like this dude. All right, let's go. Wesley Thomas Watson, Wes Watson, was booked today, February 6th at what is that, 7:08 p.m. I believe. It is currently about 7:08 p.m. California time, West Coast time. I'm in Reno, but West Coast time. So he's been in there what 2-3 hours. I don't know if Miami's East Coast or Central. Been in there a minute. He's probably out of the holding tank, right? I saw on Instagram they had said that they thought he was arrested around like 5:30 local time. So it's like an hour and a half later. Can you imagine? I'm gonna get to this, but can you imagine being there in the holding tank with Wes Watson? He doesn't seem like the most pleasant guy. He seems kind of grumpy. I don't know if that's how he is in jail or not. Maybe you're seeing prison Wes Watson, right? Jail Wes Watson. Maybe he's hooping extra rolls of toilet paper. I don't know. But he seems to be kind of a chip on his shoulder dude. And jail, no matter how big you are, even in the county jail, not the best place to have a chip on your shoulder. But also just the fall from, I don't want to say fall from grace, but like this dude was sitting in luxury cars, with rented or leased spouses or wives, girlfriends, whatever, and apartments or condominiums or houses. Like he was wealthy. He had fancy stuff. He would berate people and demean people. Uh and now he was sitting in a drunk, probably with dudes that smell like piss, right? And people who don't know what their name is because they're high on drugs. And maybe some folks on spice. Like it and he just posted up in there, you ain't shit. When you sit in a holding tank, you ain't nothing. You ain't no better off than anybody else in that holding tank. You're all stuck in the same place. So now he's probably out of the holding tank, I'm guessing. I wonder if they'd put him in a gym. I don't know. We'll get to some of that stuff in a second. But anyway, he's sitting in jail. His race is white. His sex is male. He's a white guy. Right? He's a white guy. We know this. We know this because he was a shot caller for the Woods in the California Department of Corrections when he was there for his jacking those dudes for weed or whatever. No, that's right. I forgot. That part's not true. But he was incarcerated by California, and then he was sent out of state where those that are able to behave nicely get to go hang out. Uh, but anyway, so he's in prison. I don't do a lot of Wes Watson content. It's probably my second video ever about this dude, and the first one was actually about the guy who had scammed him, and then went on No Jumper to brag about how he was scamming him and others, and then suddenly got arrested on Fed cases for scamming people. So I don't really take shots at this guy very often. Take advantage of this rare opportunity. His date of birth is November 26th, 1983. By my math, that makes him like a hair over 41. Yeah, I'm going to jail at 40. Wow. His hair is blonde, according to the government. Now, I tend to believe the Miami Dade County website because he was booked into their jail, and they do this whole description thing, and they tend to look at records, which are kind of unfudgeable records, right? Hair color, they don't really fudge that. Eye color, unless you're Cali Muscle, you can't really fudge that stuff. But I'm not seeing the blonde. I'm not seeing a blonde. I've seen other mugshots from Miami Dade County, and it seems like it's tuned in pretty well. You know, their color stuff is that's brown. That's brown hair. But he has blonde hair. That's a lot of like just for men or something. Like there's a lot to keep that steel wool looking like the color of his shirt. Um, I don't know why. I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. He has green eyes, right? Same color as Cali Muscle. He is 230 pounds. Right? He's a big dude. We know that. He's a weightlifter, big guy. But his height is only 5'8". I've noticed as I have watched the plethora of Wes Watson videos that are out there. There's your word for a Thursday. Plethora of Wes Watson videos from everybody from Johnny Bravo to Bubba to Gunner to Dubs to this. There's lots of options to hear about Wes Watson. And there's been some question about how tall is he really, right? Well, now we know he's 5'8", right? That's why that 6 foot something guy. He's a 7 foot giant. He's a giant. Look how big this guy's. So he's 5'8". That's not particularly tall. And then the rest of that stuff doesn't matter. His location, honestly, I don't remember what that TGKC stands for or KCC stands for, but I will tell you in a second when I get off of this screen. He has been charged. I looked up his case. There's no real paperwork because he hasn't gone to court yet, right? He hasn't gone to court yet, so there's no paperwork for the case number. But his charge is aggravated battery. That's one of them. Aggravated battery is a very serious case in Florida, right? In Miami-Dade County, that's the highest form of battery that you can get. So that's a serious felony. And bond has yet to be set. He hasn't gone to court. My guess is he shows up in court tomorrow, right? He gets brought before a judge tomorrow to see if there's enough evidence to hold him over, considering it's on video. And there's probably millions and millions of views on the videos that contain various clips of the actual confrontation that I think all this stems from. That's not going to be a hard, a real rough hurdle for the prosecutors. And then felony battery, right? So felony battery is a step below aggravated battery, and I'll get more into that stuff in a second. So that's a decent felony, right? You go to prison for that in Florida. And again, no bond set. They'll figure that stuff out in court. So that's what we have from this screen, right? Now we'll go to this screen, and we'll kind of look around. And the name of that jail where he is at, it used to be called the Metro West Detention Center. Now it is called the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center. Let me know in the comments if you have any experience with this facility. I don't, so that's about all I can let you know on that. It is a county jail, though, right? We know that much. It's a county jail. Excuse me. Time it takes to get bond, right? So he's gonna get bail in this case. Realistically speaking, there's no reason for him not to, right? There's serious cases, there's serious felonies. These absolutely carry potential prison sentences, right? But it's not like a capital offense. He's gonna have the money. He wasn't, to the best of my knowledge, he wasn't already out on bond or anything else. So and violated conditions. So he should be fine. For serious felonies, on average, it's 1 to 3 days to bail out of the Miami-Dade County Jail, right? If it was a misdemeanor, you're talking a few hours, right? 48 hours. Minor felonies, which is what the other battery is, right? The felony battery is a minor felony. So that's like 8 to 24 hours. But the other one, that's serious, right? Serious felony. The aggravated battery. So what kind of time is he looking at, right? Where's this? What's next for Wes Watson? So there's 3 types of battery in Florida. There is simple battery. That's the lowest. It's a first degree misdemeanor, or aggravated battery, right? Which is 2nd degree felony. And then right in between is felony battery, which is a 3rd degree. A lot of numbers. The point is, felony battery is not as bad as aggravated battery. What is it, right? What is battery, period? So it's when you intentionally and actually touch or strike another person against their will, or you cause harm to another person unintentionally. I mean, intentionally. Sorry, intentionally. Right. So that happened here. Right. This stems from a video. Stems from Wes Watson. Also watching a plethora of videos about himself, probably, and getting irritated. Right. Getting pissed off. So he goes on Instagram, I think it was, and says, "Hey, look, man, if you want to talk bad about me, why don't you just come see me? Here's the gym I'm at. Here's the address. Here's the time I'm there. Slide through and you can get the business, right? Whether inside or behind the bill, whatever it takes." Somebody took him up on it, right? Somebody took him up on that offer and was like, I want all the smoke. So I went over there, set up a little phone. Be a fairly tall guy, taller than 5'8" for sure. And decent sized dude. And walks up to him and kind of just like a little shove on his shoulder. Wes Watson sitting there and he's kind of, eh. Wes Watson gets up, words are exchanged. Uh, but Wes is with his homeboy, right? He's with his squad, his goons, his gang. And they're not a gang. I shouldn't even have said that. But he's with his people. And they kind of surround dude, right? Tall dude. Uh, and a physical confrontation ensues. And in that physical confrontation, according to the video, Wes Watson, the actual uh, camera video, right? Not just the video where somebody described this, but the actual watching it. I think I seen it on John Bravo's channel. I'm sure I seen it on John Bravo's channel. Wes Watson was holding a weight belt in his hand and pops this dude. That, I believe, is where the aggravated battery comes in, because aggravated battery is a battery committed while using a deadly weapon, or a person allegedly committed the battery intentionally or knowingly, causing great bodily harm, permanent disability, or permanent disfigurement. There was various videos done about the end condition of the victim in this case, right? The guy that got beat up and stomped out, and what kind of condition was he in. I don't exactly know. I don't know where the truth lies in that. I kind of stopped paying attention to the story until now. But that weight belt anywhere could count as a deadly weapon, right? So that's all it takes. He was also booted, right? Also booted the guy. The guy was down on all fours, basically defenseless, and he was kicked. I think he was kicked by a couple people, but Wes Watson was definitely one of them, playing football, and bow, nailed his ass. Most of the time, if you kick the shit out of somebody, that also counts as potentially using a deadly weapon or using a weapon enough to get an aggravated battery, right? It's your feet. Um, and it could cause great bodily harm, right? Could have split his whole wig up. I don't know. But so that's where that comes in. There's one charge of that. Like I said, it's a second degree felony in the state of Florida, right? So what happens, right? And then felony battery, like I said, is right is right in between. It's more than just a little misdemeanor kind of nonsense, but it's not using deadly weapon necessarily. So felony battery, the lesser offense, is a third degree felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. So that's for the lesser charge. For the lesser charge of felony battery, he's looking at potentially up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. For the aggravated battery, that's the more serious charge. That's a second degree felony in Florida. That is punishable by up to 15 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. So when you got two charges, one maxes at 15, the other one maxes out at 5. Oftentimes, if these charges stand, then Wes Watson is going to go to prison in the state of Florida. The charges can get reduced. They might get pushed back down to misdemeanor level. Who knows? Right? Who knows? He has money. At least there's the appearance of him having money. So he'll probably get a decent attorney. But the circumstances around, like the whole self-defense thing, I think that I had actually talked about in an earlier video. But that whole self-defense thing is hogwash, right? For one, it's a group event. It's multiple people against another guy. For two, you invited this dude to come get after it. Now, the fact that the guy made the first move, okay, there's another window for self-defense. So you kind of lose the window of self-defense because you're inviting him over. But when he comes over, you don't jump on him. he comes for you. Again, not particularly aggressive, kind of but nonetheless, he touches you, right? That would have been a misdemeanor battery. So there's your window for self-defense against that misdemeanor battery. And you could have got off. But then when the dude's down on all fours howling like, an animal, right? And is getting kicked from this angle and punched from this angle, and you're on top of him and you're pulling his hair, and like it was like a girl fight, right? And you're beating him, and you got a weight belt, and all this. One of the other guys had something in his hand. All that takes you far outside the realm of self-defense. And this is not me snitching on Wes Watson. This is me offering my commentary as somebody that's pretty familiar with the legal system in general, and offering my commentary based on what I'm watching on a video. And it's not necessarily rocket science. So all that's out the window, right? He is accountable. He's going to be accountable one way or another for this. And now with him being arrested and with them having a video, let's say his plan was, hey, bro, I'm gonna cash you out, right? I'll give you $100,000 if if you want to drop the charges. A lot of times DAs, they don't need the victim. They don't need them to testify. They have a video of it, right? They have a video of what happened. So whether the other guy, whether the victim in the video talks or not, you don't need him to narrate what you're watching. You're watching two adults stand there. One does one thing and the other starts doing their thing. And that's enough to say, hey, we have laws in this county and in this state which say you're not allowed to do this to people, and we're watching you do this to a person. So I don't think that option is really on the table. But when it all gets sorted out, who knows? Who knows what happens? As of now, it's not looking good for Wes Watson. And I just want to wrap it up with this. The video's already longer than I thought, but I want to wrap it up with this. As I said in the beginning, this is a guy, like, he popped on social media. He found a way, no matter what I think of his content or anything else, he found a way to monetize his experience, right? And of course he monetized other people's experiences just without telling him. He lies a lot, right? He lies a lot, tells a lot of shit, but he did get arrested, he did go to prison, he did get out, and he talks about that, right? Whether he tells the truth or not is almost irrelevant. He found a way to make a great living at it. It wasn't harming anybody necessarily by telling his bullshit stories. Now, some of the scam stuff might be a different story. I haven't followed him that closely, but he went from making a boatload of money just jaw jacking on the internet, right? No pocho. To sitting in jail because people made videos about you that you didn't like and you popped off and somebody took you up on the offer. And then you've seen an opportunity to kind of demonstrate that you are something that you always wanted to be and never were, which is a tough guy. Not that I respect that type of behavior, right? That's bully shit. But you're like, oh, I can get on this dude, right? And this is gonna look impressive. He's a big guy, and on him. Let this be a lesson, so they know other people who perhaps have better fighting skills try to run up on me and pull my covers. All that, Holmes. And now you're sitting in for what? For what? What did you gain? What did you win? And in his case, it's even weirder because he used to be really popular. He's become less popular. So it's not as if you're crashing out to get a bunch of subscribers or you're crashing out to get a bunch of views. It's like the more you crash out, the more you're losing that stuff. And yet it continues. I don't know. I wish any harm on anybody or ill on anybody. I hope the dude doesn't go to prison and that he learns a lesson. Because I don't root for people to go to prison unless they harm, women and children. So I'm not rooting for him to go, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Leave me a comment. No, this is not the start of me doing a weekly Wes Watson video. Relax, right? Some of you guys, I can hear you already in the comments. Oh, you motherfucker, you could. No, that's it. I still do what I do. I don't think I'm gonna actually talk about anybody else though. At least until next week. I have other content I want to address, and so I'm gonna get to that. Make sure that you're subscribed to Rascal Reacts. I will pin a comment from the Rascal Reacts channel to this video, so it's very easy for you to find it because I'm gonna be putting content over there. tomorrow. I give you my word, I will have new content on that channel by tomorrow. And that's the backup in case the homie Hangout uh is has to disappear or take a break for a while due to people not liking uh the way that I do my content and tell the truth. Anyways, help others move in excellence. That's what homies do. Help yourself at the same time because you're worth it. Help your community because they need you. I'm going to go have some soup and take some cough medicine and catch you guys on a rebound, man. Take care.